This meeting is being recorded.
Till the time everyone else joins, can we quickly introduce ourselves? Maybe if Rukshana, you would like to volunteer and tell me who all have joined so far. I mean, are they counselors completely, or someone from the visa team has joined too?
120596. रुखसाना तूने करा रेकॉर्डिंग नहीं करा मैंने रेकॉर्डिंग करा हाँ
Yes, Rukshana.
Yes, ma'am, we can start with the training. My all counselors and visa file, the person has joined.
Okay. Okay. Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yeah, ma'am, your PPT is visible, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. I am Kavleen. I am the India representative for University College Birmingham. So I had a discussion with Rukshana ji yesterday, and we are hosting this session, not on a very heavy session for University College Birmingham, but just to explain you guys about the entry requirements and more on the courses and scholarship parts. So we'll not deep dive into the training because we conducted the training last month only, but we'll focus more on the courses and the entry requirement in today's session. So maybe if you guys have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask those questions. All right, so I'll jump on to the courses. So for the postgraduate courses at UCB, this is the list of courses that is available. So towards the left of the slide, we have courses which are awarded by University of Warwick, and towards the right hand side, the degrees are awarded by University College Birmingham itself. So I'll talk about each and every course in short, so that you are aware which all students can apply for these courses when you counsel them for your from your end. All right. So first course is MSc Aviation Management. So for this course, we require students to have at least 60% in their bachelor's if it is a 3 years degree. If it's a 4-year degree, we are happy to accept it at 55% too. And another thing is that for this course, it is not a technical course. It is basically for students who are looking for crew related jobs, maybe cabin crew, or maybe if they're looking for aviation ground operations related job, then they can apply for this program. Next is the MA Culinary Arts Management course. So, like you guys are already aware, this is our most popular and oldest course at the university. This is taught at our oldest campus, which is Samaru. And for this, we require students to have a relevant bachelor's in hospitality or culinary arts. So, if the student doesn't have a background in hospitality or culinary, they cannot apply for the course. Then next is MSc Enterprise Management. For MSc Enterprise Management, it's a business program. So for that course, if the student is looking for a business related when they want to expand their family business, they can apply for this program. And the entry requirement remains the same. We require the students to have at least 60% in their bachelor's, nothing less than that if it's a 3-year degree. Then next is MSc Finance and Accounting. So for this course, if the student is looking for a finance background at their master's level, we require students to have at least a relevant commerce degree, a BCom degree, or a BBA degree, and we expect the students to have at least 60% in their maths, either in grade 12 or they have studied mathematics in their first year of their graduation. Then next is the MSc Global Meetings and Event Management. So any student who wants to build a career into events, they can apply for this course. We accept students from all walks of life, so it's not necessary that you need to have a bachelor's degree in events. We can accept applications outside an event degree too. A requirement remains the same. It is 60% in the bachelor's. Then it's MSc Hospitality with Tourism Management. So any student who's looking for a career into hospitality, we accept students from all the fields. It's not just relevant to hospitality. So we have two groups for this program. One is Pathway A group and the other one is Pathway B group. So when I talk about Pathway A and Pathway B, they are not a pre-masters. It's a level 7 course. It's just they have grouped it as per Pathway A for students who are from a non-relevant hospitality background and Pathway B for students who have a relevant hospitality background. Requirement wise also it remains the same. There's nothing specific. Only 60% is required in their bachelor's. Then another one is MSc International Hospitality Management. So any student who's looking for a career into hospitality, not into tourism, they can apply for this course. Then the next one is MSc International Tourism Management. Again, this is a 1.5 years course. Student who is looking for a career into tourism, tourist industry, they can apply for this program at 60%. Bachelor's is what we require for them to apply. Another course that I want to highlight is the Marketing Management for Events, Hospitality and Tourism. So this is also for students who are from business background. So any student who's looking for a career into marketing, we just have Marketing Management for Events, Hospitality and Tourism. So it has modules related to digital marketing and marketing also. It's not just highlighting more on the events, but there's just one module for events, hospitality and tourism in it. Requirement remains the same. It's 60% in bachelor's, and if it's a 4-year degree, then it's 55%. It's a very technical course, so we require students from relevant background. So any student who has a physical education degree or a physiotherapy degree or a strength conditioning bachelor's degree, they can apply for this course. They need to have at least 60% in their bachelor's. There's no requirement of maths or any other subject. Then next is MSc Adult Social Nursing Care. This is not for international students. It is only for students who have a registered NMC PIN, which is Nursing Midwifery Council. So this is not applicable for students applying from India. Then next is MSc Computer Science Master. So it's for students who are looking for a career into computers. Requirement wise, it remains the same. We do not require students to have a maths when they are applying for Masters Computer Science. So we just require them to have 60%. And all the modules related to the current trends like artificial intelligence, data warehousing, all these factors are covered when they're studying this course. Another course is MSc Construction Project Management. So any student who is looking for a career into civil engineering specifically, they can apply for this course. And 60% is what we expect from the students when they are applying. Then the next course is MSc Data Analytics. So this course is still under validation. We are not accepting applications as of now for data analytics, but once we get more clarity from the international team whether we can accept applications for September 25 intake, we will be informing them that to you guys. And next is MSc Engineering Management. So it's a generic engineering course. It's not a technical, maybe you can say electric engineering or mechanical engineering or computer engineering degree. It's an engineering, a plain engineering master's. So students from any engineering background can apply for this course. The other one is MSc Homeless and Inclusion Health Nursing. This is not for international students, so I'll not talk about this course. The other one is MSc International Business Management. Again, it's a business course accepting students at 60%. Any student from any background can apply for this course. There is no prerequisites of maths required. And then next is prosthetics for film and television. This is for students who have maybe a career already, a relevant bachelor's into prosthetics in India or maybe anywhere. But then it is a very specific course, not accepting students from all walks. Then another one is MSc Psychology Conversion. So it is purely for students who are looking for a conversion psychology. It's not so it's an MSc course, not a MA course. So it accepts students from all walks of life, but this course also requires maths in grade 12 at least 60%. Then next is public health masters. Again, this course is just running in one intake, which is September. We require students to have a relevant degree in undergraduation related to public health, and maths is also required, and IELTS is also mandatory when they are applying for this course. So the student needs to achieve at least 6.5 with nothing less than 6, and integrated pre-masters. So any student who is not meeting the entry requirement to apply, they can apply for a pre-masters, but pre-masters is just running in September. So if you have any students in the pipeline for February, pre-masters option is not available. But we are happy to accept that student if he is willing to join for our September batch. He does his pre-masters for 3 months, which is from October to Jan, and then joins the batch with the February 26 student if they are enrolling for the September 2025 intake. I'll not rush to the other slide. I just wanted to check if you guys have any questions for postgraduate courses. Then I'll first cover that, and then I'll talk about the UG program. Any questions, anyone, for master's programs that I've explained so far?
No, ma'am.
All right.
Ma'am, I have one question.
Okay.
You have mentioned one course regarding BPT, physiotherapy, after physiotherapy. Can you please repeat that information?
Okay, so that is MSc Strength Conditioning and Performance Program. So any student who has a PPT degree in bachelor's, at least 60% is what we are expecting. And if they have a physiotherapy degree, also even they are accepted. So career opportunity wise, there's a lot of scope because we have seen students who have applied for this program. So if you quickly want me to highlight on the career opportunities for physiotherapy, I can do that for you.
And ma'am, this program is open for all intake,
Only September.
only for September.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, all right, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So for the career opportunities in the strength and conditioning program, I'll just talk about the career opportunities. So you can, a student once they complete a degree, they can be a strength and conditioning coach. They can be an exercise physiology lecturer. They can also head the athletic department and also be a physiologist in the sports sector.
All right, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. So I'll now talk about the UG courses. So what I have done is I have bifurcated the UG courses as per Warwick awarding and UCB awarding degrees. So first I'll talk about the courses that are awarded by University of Warwick, and then I'll go to the next slide which talks about UCB awarded degrees. All right. So now talking about the Warwick awarding degrees. So first one is the BA Aviation and Airport Management. So this is for students who have, so for all our UG courses we require at least 70% in their grade 12. Except for physiotherapy and nursing we require higher requirements, but all the other courses require 70% in their grade 12. So aviation and airport management, it's a 3-year course. It has an optional placement also in it if the student is looking for that. It is again for students who are looking for careers into aviation and ground level operations, not for aeronautical engineering. So please do not confuse yourself when you are pitching this to your students talking about aviation management bachelor's. Then the other one is business enterprise. This course is again for students who are looking for expanding their family business or startups. So we have a business management also that is awarded by UCB. Business enterprise is awarded by University of Warwick. So any student who's looking for a career in business enterprise, they can apply. It's a 3-year course with an optional placement in it. Then construction management. So for construction management, we require students to have mathematics also 70% in their grade 12th as well, and IELTS is mandatory. So there is no waiver for IELTS if the student is looking for BSc Honors Construction Management. The other one is BA Honors Culinary Arts Management. So any student who is looking for a career into culinary arts, they can apply for this course. It's a 4-year course which comes with a mandatory 1-year placement. And it is 70% bachelor's, no prerequisites of maths. Then the other one is digital marketing. Again, this course does not require the mathematics in it, and it accepts students from all walks, but it needs to just meet the entry requirement at 70% in grade 12. Early childhood studies, again, this course is quite popular among students who are looking for a early childhood career. So when I talk about early childhood career, it is basically for students who are looking for a career into caretaking. So normally we do accept applications. Generally, we get applications from southern region of India. So they are more keen on going for early childhood program. Then next is electromechanical engineering. Any student who is looking for an engineering degree, we have one course into electromechanical engineering. This also requires maths in your grade 12 with at least 60%. Then next is hair and makeup business management. This is a newly introduced course. We had this course before as well, but then that we have now revised the course name and it has been changed to hair and makeup business management. This is also a 3-year degree and it is Warwick awarded. So any person who is looking for any potential student who is keen on doing a career into hair and media makeup, so they can apply for this course. So hair and media makeup bachelor's was the old name of the program. Now they have changed this to hair and makeup business management. Then next is event management course. Any student who is looking for a careers into events, this course comes with an optional placement of 1 year. And requirement wise, there's no prerequisite of maths. We accept it at 70% in HSC in grade 12. Then the other one is finance and accounting bachelor's. This is also awarded by Warwick. 70% is what we expect, and the student should also have mathematics with 60% at least. Then international hospitality and tourism management. Again, if a student is looking for a career into hospitality, this is the right course for them. It comes with an optional placement in it. The other one is marketing management bachelor's. It is a 4-year course, 3-year course with an optional placement, and 70% is what we are expecting the students to have when they are applying for this program. And the next one is sports therapy. Even this is popular when a student is not able to apply for physiotherapy. We recommend students to go for sports therapy course because it has a career for physiotherapists also when they graduate from this program. So physiotherapy requirement is 80%, but then sports therapy requirement is 70%, and there is no mandatory IELTS to it. So students can apply if they are not able to achieve the relevant scores for physiotherapy. So next slide talks about courses
Okay,
which
but
are
so
awarded by
only digital
university.
marketing and early child education, they don't require mathematics. The rest all programs, they require maths.
No, business enterprise also does not require maths. Culinary arts doesn't require maths. Aviation
Okay.
doesn't require maths. So
Okay.
if you just ask me which all courses require, construction management requires, electromechanical engineering requires, finance and accounting requires. That's it.
Okay, only 3 courses require math.
Yeah, 3 from Warwick Award.
Okay, and is there any minimum criteria for the percentage for math?
60.
Minimum 60% overall.
Ma'am, that finance and accounting maths requirement is there. So an additional maths course has to be taken for 12th commerce student.
If the student is doing that, it is accepted, but then please ensure it is not from an open board. I mean, the student shouldn't be doing it from NIOS. It should be from the general board itself, either it is CBSE or Gujarat board, however inquiries you're getting.
Okay, means the statistic and other will not be considered as a part of a mathematics. 12th commerce will
I
not
mean,
be.
if they're planning to, yeah, I mean, if they have not opted out maths in their grade 12 and they want to still give a maybe exam, special exam for maths to apply, they can do that, but it shouldn't be from an open schooling.
Okay, ma'am.
Any other question?
So college is not providing any additional math subjects into their curriculum if they don't have maths.
No, there's no course which is a pre-sessional for maths. So had there been a course for pre-sessional maths, I would have highlighted that. But it is not available. We have a international foundation diploma, but that is only when the student is not meeting the 70% criteria.
Okay.
Ma'am, usually like in finance and accounting, like 12th commerce students, they apply. So they study stats like as a subjects, or accounts also they study. So can we consider those subjects like in place of mathematics?
That is not possible. So the requirement states that the student needs to have maths, but then we are still figuring out with the university's international admissions. Maybe if we can, maybe slightly consider case on case basis if the student has an excellent profile. So we are in talks with the university's international team for the same. So the moment we have some more clarity on this, we will be getting back to you. Not just for finance, but for other courses also. We are trying to maybe have simple requirements beyond maths.
Correct.
Then next is UCB awarded degrees. I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So it's BSc Adult Nursing. So we do get a lot of applications. Surprisingly, it's not just from South, but across all the regions in India, we get applications for adult nursing. So this course is popular, but again, requirement-wise, only if the student meets the eligibility criteria, we consider those applications. So we need the students to have at least 75% in their HSC, nothing below that, and we require them to have at least 65% in maths and biology. So if there's no maths and biology in grade 12, case will not be considered. But again, we are in talk with international admissions for this. If they can consider 10th maths and biology, because we understand that at times students either takes maths or biology, not both, during their grade 12. So once we have more clarity on that, we will update you. But as of now, maths and biology is with 65% in grade 12, and overall 75% is what we expect when the student applies for adult nursing course. Then other one is aesthetic bachelor's. Again, if a student is looking for a career in aesthetics, we have excellent facilities for aesthetics. So we do get applications only if the student has, maybe you can say, interest in doing aesthetics. So we accept students if the student has 70%. There is no other prerequisite. Of course, a portfolio with some relevance to show their aspirations is helpful. But then again, if the student doesn't have a strong portfolio, we can consider it on case to case basis. Then next is bakery and patisserie technology. So any student who is looking for a career not in culinary but only in baking, I mean breads and patisserie, then they can consider this course. It's a beautiful course of 3 years, which is spread across 3 years with optional placement in it. Then next one is the business management course. So again, it's a 3-year course plus 1 year of optional placement. So if the student is not looking for business enterprise, which is Warwick awarded, they can take the business management program. And the other one is computer science bachelor's. Master's computer science, please make a note, master's computer science does not require maths. BSc computer science requires a maths. So if the student is looking for BSc, we require maths with 60%. Then next is BSc cyber security. Again, it requires maths and 70% overall in 12th. Then the other one is food and nutrition bachelor. So it is accepted at 70%. There is no other prerequisite. And next one is graphic designing. So if a student is looking for a careers into graphics, then they can opt for this course. It is accepted at 70%. It's an arts course, so it doesn't require maths. And I have by mistakenly mentioned hair and makeup business management here. It was covered in the previous slide. Then next is health and social care. So any student who's looking for a career into health and social care, we do receive applications majorly from South, but also from other parts. So if you are counseling any student for health program, we just have one intake, which is September, and 70% is what we expect. There's no other prerequisite. We just require documentation wise for nursing and health and social care. I guess you guys are already aware we require a PCC, a police clearance certificate, from the local police authority when it comes to health courses. And also for sports therapy, we require a document called as police clearance certificate. So it's not necessary that a student needs to submit that at the application stage. As soon as they have an offer, it can be a part of one of the condition, and they can start working on the PCC, because we understand that it takes sometimes more than usual, to get a PCC from your local police. Then next is mental health nursing. So again, it's a nursing course, but it is not an adult nursing course. So we get very limited applications for mental health nursing. Requirement wise, it is the same as adult nursing only. Paramedic science. If a student is looking for a career into paramedics, they apply for this course with at least 70% in their grade 12. Physiotherapy. This is the course which requires the highest requirement. It has 80% requirement in grade 12, and IELTS at least 7, with nothing less than 7. Writing 6.5 is what we can accept, but nothing below that. So we do not even encourage students to give anything beyond IELTS. PT, TOEFL, and Duolingo will not be accepted in case of adult nursing and physiotherapy. But for other courses, students can give these tests apart from IELTS too. Then next is prosthetics for screen and stage. If a student is looking for a career into prosthetics, then they can apply, and it requires at least 70% in your grade 12. For psychology, we have 4 courses. One is a plain BSc psychology, and the other 3 are psychology with education, health, psychology with health, and psychology with sports and exercise. All the requirement wise, it's 70% is what we expect from the students, and also for psychology, we require maths. I understand that it's a theory course, so we are in talks with the university international team to check if the requirements for maths can be removed for these courses at least. Then next is sports and education. So if a student is looking for a career into sports, then they can definitely apply for this course, and it requires 70%, no maths requirement for this. Strength conditioning and sports nutrition, even this course is popular. So it requires the students to have at least 70%. There's no requirement of portfolio when they're applying for strength and conditioning program at bachelor's or at master's level. And the last one, which is International Foundation Diploma, it is for students who do not meet the entry requirement of 70% in their grade 12th. So we do accept students if they have a below 70% requirement, but IFD is just available for September intake, not for February. So I've covered the courses here. I'll just move to the next slide, which talks about the entry requirements. Any questions maybe with regards to the courses?
Ma'am, if the student is eligible for a foundation program, then what will be the duration of bachelor's, 3 or 4?
So foundation program is for 1 semester usually. So it will still be 3 years plus the foundation. So when the student takes a foundation program, like I mentioned, because they have a September intake only. So October to Jan they do their foundation, and then they progress to a bachelor's year 1.
Okay.
I'll just show you the admission requirement. Yes. All right, entry requirements. Like I mentioned, we require students to have 70% if the student is applying for a bachelor's degree at UCB. And next for masters, we accept 60% if it's a 3-year degree and 55% if it's a 4-year degree. The reason I'm highlighting on the requirements is because we do get a lot of applications from you guys for UCB, but then somewhere for master's courses, we get the applications for between 55 to 59%. So if you can just keep in mind when you are pitching students about University College Birmingham, only if it's a 4-year degree, we accept it at 55. But if it's a 3-year degree, we cannot accept it at 55. However, we do have a PG diploma for this option. If the student is ready to take that PG diploma, then we are okay to proceed with the application. I'll just shortly explain you about the PG diploma. So PG diploma is also a master's course. It's a level 7 degree which the other students are getting either for MA or MSc. But the difference between PG diploma and MA or MSc masters is that in PG diploma you do not get entitled for a post-study work visa. And another thing is that for PG diploma students, you do not get a research project. So the research project, which is for 60 credits, the dissertation is not attached if you are just doing a PG diploma. However, the students also have an opportunity to progress from PG diploma to masters if they successfully complete all their modules when they are studying PG diploma. So classes will not be separate from the master student. Classes wise, they'll sit along with the same people who are going for MA MSc, because we equally get applications for PG diploma too because of the requirement of 55% in their bachelor's. So progression option is available. So when I talk about progression, they have to extend their visa for 6 months to complete a dissertation. From here, they will be just getting a cash letter for PG diploma. So I'm just repeating, cash will only come for PG diploma. It will not come for MA or MSc. So please keep that in mind. And if the student wants a progression, they need to update the academics over there that they are keen on doing a progression after the PG diploma. They will guide him on the steps of doing a progression, and the student does not have to pay any additional tuition fee. The fees for PG diploma and MSc students is the same. They just have to bear the visa and IHS cost for that 6 months of extension. So 490 towards visa and 6 months of IHS will be £388, half of 776. So I hope I'm clear with the PG diploma. I know you might encounter few students who are at 55%. That is the reason I'm highlighting on PG diploma. But please be aware, it's not that students do not consider PG diploma. They also consider PG diploma, and students have successfully progressed to from PG diploma to masters as well. All right. And another thing I wanted to highlight is, even if a student has 60% and goes for an MA or MSc, but worst case, if the student is not able to clear the, maybe you can say all the modules, if they do not clear the research module or any module, they also come back with PG diploma. So it's not that MA, MSc students direct are guaranteed a degree in MA or MSc and have an option to stay back for another 2 years under the graduate immigration route. So students from PGTIP do progress to MSc. So please consider that also when you are counseling your students. English language wise, you guys are already aware that we accept students from other state boards too, but it needs to be within 5 years of their grade 12. So for example, if you are sending us application for 2025 intake, the 12th mark sheet should not be older than 2020. So if it's beyond that, then IELTS, TOEFL, PT or Duolingo is required to be done. So we accept these state boards. Maybe if you want to just check the requirements. So these are the English scores that we require them to have. For Gujarat board, it's 65. So only for four state boards, it's 65, which is Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana. Rest are 60%. Even CBSE is 60%. Then document wise also, I just want to highlight. So I have mentioned a few documents here, which is the student should have at least, we do not expect the students to have all the documents when they are giving us you guys are giving us the application, but at least a few documents to start with their application. So we expect the passport, we expect their mark sheets, at least to have an understanding on the entry requirements. SOP LOR, if it is submitted later, it should be okay. And another thing is the student additional information form. We have not mentioned it here, but then when we receive the application from you guys, we want the student additional information form, which is our own form filled by either by the counselor or by the student themselves, because there are certain sections which we require to fill in the original application form of the university on the portal. So there are certain questions regarding the maybe if the student has any special disability or learning disability, we need to address those also when we are submitting the application. Or else if the student has any visa refusals, we should also be highlighting the refusals. We should have all these documents in place when we are submitting the application, and that is the reason our admissions team, they do reach out to the student once we receive an application from your team. And that is how, after the pre-screening call is done, we take the case further with the student's journey, and accordingly we send the offer letter once an application is made. Next, I just want to talk about the tuition fee here. So tuition fee wise, if the student has so for September, it's not for February intake. So the tuition fee and scholarship I have highlighted only for the September intake. So any student who is going for a UCB awarded degree for bachelor's, they have to pay 16,000 pounds per year. If the student is going for a Warwick awarded bachelor's, then they have to pay 19,750 pounds. If the student is going for masters, which is UCB awarded, it is 17,000 pounds. And if the student is going for masters, which is Warwick awarded, we require them to pay 20,750 for the entire course. So for masters, it's not just limited to 1 year. If their course duration is 1.5 years, they just have to pay 17,000 pounds if it's a non-Warwick degree, and if it's a Warwick degree, they are required to pay 2750. Scholarships, as we have mentioned here, it's up to 3,000 to 4,000 pounds. I'll just open up a table which talks briefly about the scholarship. Just give me a minute. Is the scholarship table visible?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So this is a scholarship. I'll just explain you. There is no prerequisite for the scholarship. This is called as early action scholarship. So if a student is choosing a UCP degree in undergraduation, they are entitled up to maximum 3,000 scholarship only in the first year. This is not for all the years. So please keep that in mind when you are pitching about the scholarships to the students. So if for UCB course, if it is a bachelor's degree, the course tuition fee is 16,000 pounds. The student must pay 1,000 pound within 1 month of them receiving the offer. For example, if I get my offer tomorrow, I am required to accept the offer by paying 1,000 pounds at least by 20th Jan. All right, only then I get this 1,000 scholarship. If I am taking extra time beyond 30th Jan, there is 20th Jan, there is no extension, then you are not entitled for this scholarship. Then next is the scholarship if the student is securing their seat by paying 50% at least by 4th of August. So if I am going for the September intake, I am required to pay the 50% of the tuition fees by 4th August, not later than that. So 4th August, the money should reflect in the university's account. The student should not be paying on 4th to be eligible for this scholarship. So if the student pays the scholarship 1,000 pounds deposit by this particular time, so 1,000 plus 1,500 comes to 2,500. And then if the student is planning to pay his full first year tuition fee by 1st September, then they get another 500 discount. So that way the fees comes down to 13,000 pounds if he's paying the tuition fees as per the deadlines. I mean before the deadlines, I would say. And if the student is going for a Warwick awarding degree, the scholarship remains the same. Only the 50% category section, if you see here, there from 1,500 it goes up to 2,500 if they are paying 50%. So when I'm saying 50% here, please keep in mind it is 50% of the original fee, which is half of 19,750, half of 16,000 pounds. So when I say half of 19,750, it is approximately 10,000 pounds. So if the student is paying 1,000 pounds earlier, then the student is required to pay 9,000 pounds later. Then next is for postgraduate courses, scholarship amount remains the same. It's 3,000 if it's a non-Warwick degree. And if it is a Warwick degree, then the student gets 4,000 scholarship. Deadlines remain the same. Scholarship amounts also remain the same. Net fee payable I've covered here. Also, this PDF has been shared by my colleague Kavita to Madhav. So you guys can maybe, I guess Madhav has already shared this with you guys, or maybe if you want to take a screenshot, you may feel free to do so. So this is regarding the scholarship. This is for the foundation diploma. Even if a student is coming for international foundation diploma, this is the tuition fees for the foundation diploma. And the duration of foundation diploma is 1 year. It is not just 3 months. I highlighted that as 3 months. It was for pre-masters, not for foundation diploma. So it is for 1 year, and that is why they are charging you 10,500 pounds, and scholarship for foundation diploma is 1,500. So eventually the student gets 9,000 pounds scholarship to be paid. Then next one is pre-masters. If a student is taking a pre-masters for a course which is awarded by UCB, then the scholarship amount is 5,000 only, but the fees for a pre-master's program is 24,500. So if I'm studying a UCB awarded degree, my tuition fee will be for the pre-masters as 24,500, and if we deduct that from the actual scholarship, it comes to 19,500. And if I'm going for a Warwick degree from my pre-masters to masters, then it's 28,250. And likewise, scholarship 5,000, if we deduct, it comes to 23,250. We do have other scholarships as well, and that is the reason I have opened up this PDF. So these are the other scholarships, but these are merit based scholarships, so it's like an academic excellence scholarship, I would say. So if a student has paid if the student has secured 144 UCAS points, so this is as per the UK requirement, but then it is available to the student. Or if the student is going for masters, they need to have first class honors degree. So when I say first class honors degree, at least they need to achieve somewhere around 75% in their bachelor's to be eligible for this scholarship. And it is a merit based, so you need to also have a strong SOP which talks about your career goals and societal impact. And all these scholarships, which is beyond the early action scholarship, this particular table, the student needs to apply directly for this. So we as an India office team will not guarantee a scholarship for these categories, but yes, we can guarantee the scholarship for this section. So these are the scholarships for merit-based scholarship, and it is considered. I mean, the decision is taken by the international team, not by the India office team. And the deadline to apply for this scholarship is 28th February, which is 2 months away. So any student who has academic excellence for September intake, they need to apply by 28th Feb. Dean's Award is available, which covers their tuition fee, 50% tuition fee. And if the student who is getting this at bachelor's level, only first year fee will be covered, not the entire course of 3 or 4 years bachelor's. So keep that in mind. Then next one is the Sustainable Development Scholarship. So if a student is getting this scholarship, the entry requirement to apply for this scholarship is that they need to have, maybe you can say, some experience into social cause. They have contributed towards sustainability in some way. To be entitled for this, 25% of the tuition fee will be waived off if they are getting this scholarship. And entry requirement wise, the student needs to have a 2:1 honors degree. Again, it is not an 60%, it is above 60% in their bachelor's. Deadline is 31st March. Women in Leadership Scholarship exclusively for all the women who are applying to UCB, 25% of the tuition fee will be covered. And requirement wise, it is the same, but the SOP will be on the lines of on academic achievements, career goals, and gender equality. The deadline is 31st March for this. Alumni Scholarship. So alumni scholarship is for student. If the student is coming for, you can say, from, if they're progressing from the IFD course to the bachelor's degree, or from bachelor's degree to master's degree, if the student is studying in the same university, then they are entitled to between 20 to 25% of their first year tuition fees. Alright, so 25% is given only when it's a first class honors degree. If the student has not achieved first class honors in their first year, then they get 20% if it is below that. Then continuation scholarship. So even when a student is studying the first year, they are getting either 3,000 or 4,000 scholarship at UG in the first year. They still get 2,000 pounds in the second and third year. So it's not that the scholarship which is attached to 16,000 pounds or 19,750 for bachelor's, the scholarship continues to be maximum 2,000, not beyond that. Any questions with regards to the scholarship that I have explained so far? Any questions, anyone?
No, ma'am.
All right. Is Ruxana there on the call still?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, Ruxana, I just wanted to highlight also on the numbers. So, I was going through the numbers of EC students that we have received so far. So, like we discussed on the call yesterday, so I went through the count as well. We have received double-digit applications from your team. Approximately 25 applications is what we have received for February intake, but only 5 students were eligible to proceed further. So 20 students, either they moved into archive or we required some additional information. So the reason I have kept this session is because we want to eradicate that in the upcoming intakes, and I completely understand it's our first intake. So we'll improve our applications when we are getting applications for the September intake.
Right, ma'am.
So out of 5, we have 2 deposits, but are we expecting more students to pay deposits from the other 3?
Ma'am, could you please just name those students, that 3 students? We'll discuss here only.
Uh, yeah, just give me a minute. Okay, so one student is Harsh Amit Kumar Raval. He's not paid the deposit yet, and the student is for MSc
Harsh
Computer
Raval,
Science.
Harshal students. Harshal? भार्गव किसका स्टूडेंट है ये? कृतिका है. कृतिका. कृतिका. अच्छा कृतिका. कृतिका हर्ष रावल आपका स्टूडेंट है?
मैम उसने ड्रॉप कर दिया है प्लान.
हाँ तो बोलो तो सही, हम
नहीं,
पूछ
बट
रहे हैं
एक्चुअली मैम मैंने यूसीबी के लिए नहीं अप्लाई करा था उसका, इसलिए मैं कंफ्यूज थी.
यूसीबी के लिए आपने अप्लाई नहीं किया था, ऐसा बोल रहे हैं आप?
नहीं, हाँ मैंने मैनचेस्टर के, उसका प्रेफरेंस मैनचेस्टर था ना, तो मैनचेस्टर वाली यूनिवर्सिटी में करा था.
नहीं, बट मैडम हैज अ ऑफर लेटर. मिडिल नेम क्या है मैम इसका?
हर्ष अमित कुमार रावल.
कृतिका आपका ही स्टूडेंट है ये?
मैं एक मिनट चेक कर रही हूँ अपने रिकॉर्ड में.
मैम दूसरा कौन है स्टूडेंट?
Okay, then the next student it is Chandni Sorathia.
भार्गव किसकी स्टूडेंट है ये?
Finance and Accounting MSc.
चांदनी आई गेस मेमनगर है.
मैम मेरी स्टूडेंट.
हाँ क्या है बेटा इसका?
Ma'am, I am planning to make her pay the deposit because she recently got her USC rejection.
ओके. मैम इसका यूएस का पहले ये बच्ची ट्राई कर रही थी, फिर इसका रिफ्यूजल आया है, तो नाउ शी इज लाइक पे द डिपॉजिट इन यूसीबी. कब तक हो जाएगा हार्दी?
Ma'am, is there any deadline I can make her like?
मैम डेडलाइंस क्या है पेमेंट की?
Okay, so I'll just highlight. So there are scholarship deadlines. I just wanted to talk about the February deadline also. Just 1 minute. So the student just recently got refused because then we also need to raise this with compliance at our end. For
मैम
US,
ये डिस्क्लोज करना जरूरी है मैम?
we have to disclose the visa rejection to the compliance team at our end for any refusal, with whether it is a tourist study, anything.
तो मैम उस केस में फिर अगर सपोज कि बिकॉज नॉर्मली जर्नल रिफ्यूजल्स होते हैं, तो क्या पॉसिबिलिटीज है कि आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी कैश इशू करेगी? बिकॉज यूके यूनिवर्सिटीज यूजुअली दे डोंट एक्सेप्ट द रिफ्यूजल्स ऑफ अदर कंट्रीज.
No, so we do consider it, but I guess if it's a general refusal, they would still have got a general letter. So if they can submit that, it should be okay. We will be considering that. It's just that the compliance should be aware that the student had a visa refusal.
Okay, so ma'am, it's a journal refusal only because all my students who are getting a like visa refusal for US, they are like it's a journal refusal only. So
Okay.
Hardi, anyways, like you submit the refusal letter to madam.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
yeah, she'll update the compliance team and all, and accordingly, ma'am, can we go ahead with the deposit for the student?
Yeah, you can do it. It's just that we do encounter these refusals, so there's nothing to worry. If it's the general refusal, then it should be positive only. There shouldn't be anything that we need to worry about.
Okay.
And deadlines, I just wanted to quickly highlight for the scholarship. If that student is looking for scholarship, if the student pays by 50% by 6 Jan, they get £2,000 scholarship. All right. If the student is paying beyond 6 Jan, I mean somewhere between 6 Jan to 31st Jan, they just get £1,000. And if the
Okay.
student is paying full fees, then they get 2,000 plus 500 only if they are paying the full fee by 31st January. So I'll just repeat again in short. If the student is paying 50% by 6 January, they get 2,000. If the student is paying full fee by 31st January, they get 2,500. If the student is paying 50% between 7 Jan to 31st Jan, they get 1,000. If the student is paying full fees between 7 Jan to 31st Jan, they get 1,500.
Okay. तो
Yeah, and
हार्दिक
the
जितना
scholarships are
जल्द
just limited to first year. Yeah.
ओके सो हार्दिक जितना जल्दी हो सके क्लोज करवा दे
Yes, ma'am.
राइट ओके और जरूरत पड़े तो
Or
मेरे को इन्वॉल्व कर लेना
Sure.
then the other student is Jignesh Sisodia.
जिग्नेश वृतिका राइट
मैम वो विश्वा मैम का स्टूडेंट है. He already got his visa for some other university.
ओके
Okay.
मैम हर्ष रावल आई थिंक लाइक शी हैज सम कंफ्यूजन
Yes, ma'am. वो स्टूडेंट ने ड्रॉप आउट कर दिया है.
Okay.
ओके
No problem. I'll just write it to my admissions team also.
Yes, ma'am.
And I guess yesterday we received an application, Priyanka Kale. So she is still expecting her offer. But is she potential for UCB or she has some other university?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ
So
के
Priyanka Kale is for finance and accounting masters.
Yes, ma'am. मैम उनका ड्यूओलिंगो का स्कोर है 110 और मास्टर्स
Okay.
कंप्लीट किया हुआ है इन कॉमर्स फील्ड.
So Duolingo we accept if it's overall 110 with nothing less than 100 in each component.
हाँ ईच कंपोनेंट 105 लास्ट है.
Then that works. So the moment we have the offer, I hope then the student is confirmed for UCB or she has some other university preference.
नो मैम शी विल कंटिन्यू विद दिस.
Okay, fine, no problem. That works. So Rukhsana ji, we are done with the application discussions. So I hope if there is something else, I'll get in touch with you personally.
ओके मैडम ने जैसे यहाँ पे बताया कि डियोलिंगो जो है अभी रिसेंटली यूसीबी ने एक्सेप्ट करना शुरू किया अर्लियर इट वाज नॉट देयर सो दे आर एक्सेप्टिंग डियोलिंगो ओवरऑल 110 नो मॉड्यूल लेस देन 100 राइट मैम
Yes.
या सो दिस इज द रिक्वायरमेंट सो आपके पास यूएस के आएंगे स्टूडेंट्स रिफ्यूजल के एज सच प्रॉब्लम नहीं है सिर्फ रिफ्यूजल लेटर ही मैडम को सबमिट करना है और यूएस में सारे जो है जनरल रिफ्यूजल्स ही होते हैं कोई स्पेसिफिक नहीं होता है तो आप उनको ये ऑप्शंस जो है वो प्रमोट करना शुरू करें ऑफर लेटर्स में मैम कब तक हम लेट टू लेट एप्लीकेशन डाल सकते हैं यूसीबी के लिए
So deadline to submit the application is 13 January maximum. So I'll
Okay.
put this message also in the EEC WhatsApp group. And CAS deadline, it is 27 January under if the student is going with the standard visa service.
Okay.
Last to last, super priority if the student is considering it is 17th February. So CAS issuance deadline is 17th February. We can't request a CAS on 17th. So probably we should be requesting their CAS by 14th or maximum 15th February, not beyond that.
राइट तो एटलीस्ट 13 जैन तक का हमारे पास टाइम है एप्लीकेशन सबमिशन का तो है हमारे पास और भी अभी देखा जाए तो 20 दिन जितने अपने पास पड़े हैं और काफी हम स्टूडेंट्स इसमें एकोमोडेट कर सकते हैं आइल्स एक्सेप्टेबल है 6.5 है डियोलिंगो एक्सेप्टेबल है मैम पीटी में व्हाट विल बी द रिक्वायरमेंट पीटी डू यू एक्सेप्ट
59 overall with nothing less than 59.
एंड व्हाट अबाउट द टोफल
So PT, Rukhsana, I also wanted to highlight that PT, it should not be a home-based PT. So only center-based PT is what we accept the students to have.
ओके
So home based, please ensure that the students are not giving home based PT, and I'll just talk about the TOEFL requirement as well. So TOEFL also it shouldn't be a home based addition. So TOEFL requirement it is 72 overall, and minimums it is reading 18, speaking 20, listening and writing is 17.
Okay. Right. आप
Ma'am, I
लोग को
have
कुछ
a question.
क्वेश्चन है? हाँ प्लीज.
Yes, ma'am, I have one question.
In cash, like applying for the cash request, like we need to email you the documents, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So
And
the process remains the same. You need to email all the documents on partner application's email ID only. So if you guys have access to that email ID, or maybe if Rukhshana ji is sending on behalf of the counselors, it is okay. So all the documents, when I say all the documents, the financials of the students, along with the TB report. So we require a TB report when you are submitting us a cash request, and there is a prepayment policy form. So that prepayment policy form explains the refund terms and conditions and installment options in it. So if the student is opting for a refund at any particular stage in future, all those things are covered there. So basically, student needs to sign the declaration and accept that he is aware of the refund policy in case if there is a refund in the future.
Okay, so
Okay.
you'll be sharing that PDF with us, like when we'll be issuing the offer letter.
So that normally prepayment policy form comes in the unconditional offer letter of the student. There is a link for the prepayment policy form in it. Student can download it from there, but I will also send it to you personally on WhatsApp. You can circulate it to the counselors.
Okay, sure.
one of the student is ready with the CAS documents like TB test and finance, both are ready. And tomorrow we will email the documents. So, ma'am, just for an example, I want to confirm one case that £14,000 is the tuition fees mentioned in an unconditional offer letter, and the student has paid the 50% of tuition fees on 18th of 17th of December. So £2,000 scholarship is issued to her automatically. So that goes to £12,000. And once she receives visa after issuing the cash, so she'll pay the entire amount. So the remaining entire amount, should we deduct 500 GBP and then only we should pay the remaining amount?
Yes, yes. If you are paying that within the deadline of the scholarship, you can deduct that 500 discount also and make the balance payment.
Okay. Okay.
But then just ensure that it is not paid on 31st. It should be paid at least 2 to 3 days prior for the payment to reach the university.
Okay. Okay, sure, ma'am. What will be the turnaround time for the cash, ma'am?
So generally we get the cases in like between 3 to 5 days. But because it is Christmas around at this time, so the cash issuance process will be slow because cash is issued by the international team and not by us. But we try to expedite the cash request from our end. So don't worry, we give the cash very quickly in comparison to other universities. But because of Christmas, there will be some delay. Otherwise, the cash generally comes in like it also comes in like 2 to 3 days also, not even to 5 days.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah. And for visa filing, I just wanted to highlight when you are submitting the visa application, we do not want to, go through each and every section of the visa form, but we request the team members, the counselors, that they share the visa form for us to review once before it is submitted. So you fill up the form. We will not be filling up the form. Just we want to skim it once from our end. And once we give you a go ahead on email, you can proceed with the biometrics booking and payments related to health surcharge and visa. So the visa application page incomplete form, if you can just download the PDF from the site and share the incomplete form with us for review. We review the form once that is shared through partners ID by you guys. And once we give you a go ahead, if we feel that there are any changes in the form, we will mention that on email. If there are no changes, we'll still mention on email that the details are good to proceed. So that is how we work with our partners, so that we eradicate if there are any visa rejections, or if we want to highlight any important points there. Yeah.
ओके सो काउंसलर, ये मैम ने जो बोला ये आपको प्रॉपर तरीके से ध्यान रखना। जब आप टीम को फाइलिंग के लिए दे रहे हैं तो मेक श्योर कि आप उनको बता दें कि भाई इनकम्प्लीट पीडीएफ ही वो डाउनलोड कर दे और उस हिसाब से आप लोग अप्रूवल लेके फिर आगे सबमिट करवाएं। नहीं तो अदरवाइज दे हैव अ हैबिट ऑफ लाइक सबमिटिंग द एप्लीकेशंस, तो दे विल सबमिट इट।
So I mean, in this case, we can have that form filling a prior day, or on the same day we will get a confirmation.
We recommend that you do it prior, because if you are calling the student to your office for payments, then at least you send us the email, and then you give us also at least 1 day to respond back to your email. Because at times if we receive the form late evening, then at least the next day morning we can try to expedite that. Don't worry, if we get a visa form, our first priority is to review the form and reply back to the partner, and the partner can proceed with the visa submission. All right. Any other question, anyone?
Ma'am, what is the percentage criteria for pre-masters?
So if the student is not meeting 60%, Anjali, then the student, if they have somewhere around 55%, so generally pre-masters is available in September. So students don't take a PG diploma, because from pre-masters you have a progression to go to masters, and that is how you directly get the PSW, the graduate immigration route of 2 years. But since it is not available in February students have the option of PG diploma. So 55%, if it is there in undergraduation, we can consider it for pre-masters, but then only one intake is available. Anything else, anyone? Otherwise, we can wrap up
Yes,
this
ma'am.
session here.
I had one question that while mentioning about UG and PG, you mentioned the degree name which it was not clear. With W.
University of Warwick.
What was that degree?
Warwick. So Warwick is a Russell Group University. So we have a lot of courses which are awarded by Warwick, and the degree comes from Warwick. So it's not that the student is studying at UCB and getting UCB degree only. It is highlighting on the degree as University of Warwick. They will mention a line in their transcript that they have studied the Warwick degree in the University College Birmingham's campus.
Okay, ma'am. Does it make any difference?
But then the logo will be of Warwick. Logo will be of Warwick. The logo and everything, it will contain of Warwick. So the students generally, when they complete their studies, they can mention it on their CV as well for Warwick, because they have been awarded a Warwick degree. Because it's a Russell Group University, and it naturally gives you a lot of weightage, and its ranking is 9th in the UK, and it is under the top 10 in QS ranking.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
ओके सो टीम, अभी रिक्वायरमेंट्स ये सारी चीज़ें मैडम ने बहुत सही तरीके से अपने को क्लियर करी है। अभी इसमें ये है कि एप्लीकेशंस हमने बहुत सारी भेजी, लेकिन उसमें एलिजिबल एप्लीकेशंस बहुत कम है। तो अभी आगे से हम जो एप्लीकेशंस भेजेंगे, मेक श्योर कि जो रिक्वायरमेंट्स है वो आप ज़रूर से एक बार टैली करके और आगे फिर फॉरवर्ड करें, ताकि वी कैन सेंड द क्वालिटी एप्लीकेशंस, और ऑफर लेटर्स भी उस हिसाब से आपको टाइमली मिले। राइट, सो ये चीज़ का आपने ध्यान रखना है। राइट, सो रेस्ट ऑल क्लियर मैम। Thanks for your time.
Okay, and Ruxana, if there is any concern for the admissions team, maybe if you do not get any update for any offer letter, feel free to reach out to me. And in case if there is any change in the entry requirements, if in the future I will update you, because we are in talks with the international team to consider at least HSC back at 65%. So if we get a go ahead that we can proceed with applicants who have 65%, then we will be happy to accept applications, and then we'll update you guys as well.
Sure, ma'am. Sure. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's session. I hope it was helpful.
Yes, ma'am, it was.
Okay. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.